Hello, welcome to Vineyard VIP. I'm Ciro Pirone from Horizon Beverage, and today with this new installment we have the opportunity to have a great friend, Marco Fizialetti, visiting us in Boston. Marco represents several generations of the François family of Castello di Querceto in Chianti. Marco, è un piacere averti, come sempre.
It's my pleasure, thank you.
Thank you for coming. And we wanted to ask Marco a few questions because, logically last time he was here was a few years ago. Some things have changed, new wines, new things, a lot moving and shaking in the area. And first and foremost, 2017, last year, was a very unique, very different vintage from many others, as every vintage is. But what can you tell us? Because the press seems to say a lot less grapes in the market, a lot less wine will be available.
I think that 2017 was a very good vintage. We have not so particularly stressed with the temperature, with the climate.
Sure.
So you can understand how it is so important, this aspect, for the good production of wine. Especially for our valley, it's very small, but has a particular climate. We had a very good high extension of the temperature from morning and evening, especially in the summer. You know how the wide range of the temperature is so important to obtain the perfect ripeness of the grapes, and especially the elastic of the skins that permit to catch more smells, more flavors around the nature that we have.
The aromas.
Of course.
Yeah, that's great. It's great to see that 2017, based on where you are, things change and shift. You can't really generalize with wine, which is very important as far as Italy is concerned.
Yes, of course. 17. We think that we have a vintage that we can obtain a lot of wine, and we can bet on the longevity of this wine.
Okay.
You can understand how the longevity is connected with the climate aspect, especially not only with the soil, on the other aspect. In this case, we can bet that with 2017 we will have a vintage that we can save in the cellars if we can, of course.
That's a great quality to have for sure. The second question I wanted to ask you, the main player in a Chianti wine is Sangiovese, and I know you guys in your Chianti Classico, Chianti and so forth, you only use indigenous varietals, meaning like Sangiovese first and foremost, which is the heart and soul, but at the same time you don't blend in Cabernet, Merlot, but rather local grapes. Why is the choice, why did you make that decision to use only local grapes, and what does Sangiovese really bring, most importantly, to the finished wine?
This is an interesting question, because and you said that Sangiovese is the most important player that we have. Why? First of all, because generally the soil is perfect for the Sangiovese grapes. Of course, it's a soil that is rich of clay, and the quantity of minerals that are present in general are interesting to obtain particular flavor with these grapes. Sure. But as many other places in the world, all the producers like to dream. What's the meaning of the dream? The dream is to have the opportunity to experiment new grapes. In Chianti Classic is not so easy. It's not so easy because we have few opportunities to find the right soil for different kinds, especially for international grapes. But when a producer finds also 2 acres, immediately start to understand if it's possible to produce a cru, because all the other conditions, nature and the climate and so on, sometimes are perfect to obtain international grapes too. This is the reason. In any case, you know how we like also to follow the tradition of the grapes we have in our territory. Sure. And this is the reason, for example, that with our Chianti Classico, we use only autochthon grapes, only the local grapes.
Right.
Not only Sangiovese, the most important part, but also few percentage of very particular grapes that are Canaiolo, Ciliegiolo, Mammolo, and so on.
That's great. So basically, the soil and the terroir tell us what to plant in which place and makes eventually the wine with the help of the winemaker.
Yes.
That's great. So lastly, I wanted to ask you about this one of your crus, maybe the most important. I'm not sure if that is the case or not. You'll tell us, but definitely very important because this is the Chianti Classico Gran Selezione Il Picchio, so it's fairly new category in the market anyway here. winemaker. What can you tell us about it?
Yes, I don't tell you about the Gran Selezione because you are more technical than me. You can tell your fans the characteristic of the Gran Selezione in general.
Right.
In this case, we added one more characteristic to the normal that Gran Selezione has, because in this case we have a single vineyard wine. And when we talk about a single vineyard, not only we talk about the top of the quality of the wine, but especially we want to represent a small parcel of soil, a small vineyard. I always say when I promote my wine just around the world that with Il Picchio, for example, we don't drink a grape, but we drink a soil. We drink a soil because it's important, of course, the Sangiovese, that is the principal grape of this wine, but especially you can find all the characteristics of this small vineyard where this wine is produced. Only 7 acres. It's a vineyard totally surrounded by forests of oaks and chestnuts, and full of minerals, rich of stones, full of iron, magnesium, manganese. So you can understand that this vineyard is completely different than all the other vineyards we have in the valley. And this is the reason because we decided to produce this small production of no more than 1,000 cases, 6 packs of this wine.
That's great. Well, the wine is fantastic. We love it.
Thank you.
We thank you for your time. It was a pleasure to have you again. Salute.
Yes. Salute.
Hopefully soon enough.
I say cheers, but salute in Italian.
Salute.
Okay.